Thoughts with the Frawley girls, of course. They'll all be there tonight, Damo. It's a great thing that the St Kilda Footy Club are doing with Melbourne to not only honour the great man, but also to keep pushing this message that it's okay to not feel great and you got to talk to people about it.
That's precisely the reason for it, Jim. And Anita Frawley, as part of that interview, also said that she doesn't want this game, this Danny Frawley Spud's game, Time to Talk game, to be just one game per season. She wants it to be an entire round next year. And I think we all know Anita enough to know that when she puts her mind to something, I'm going to lock that in from next year. It'll be a full round of Spud's game, Time to Talk.
You ring your mate, right? And you go, how are you, mate? And he goes, I'm fine, no worries. But I remember Spud saying this. You got to ask another question because they mightn't be, you know. No, how are you really? You want to have a coffee or you want to have a beer or something? Because blokes being blokes, they just go, yeah, mate, I'm okay, when they're really not. So it's that next question or the question, the next two questions.
And it's the old Australian thing. My grandfather used to say it, Fat. You go, how you going? And he'd go, oh, yeah, I'm good. But he said, why would it matter if I wasn't? No one gives us stuff anyway. Right, That's how Australian men have always been. Exactly. You just box on. So, why this message is so important is, we can't continue to be like that. If something's wrong, you got to put your hand up. So I love the whole messaging behind tonight. But Spud, of course, Chief, you played a lot against him. You got, fair to say, got the better of him a lot. How did he cope with that, Spud?
No, I had the pleasure of working with him for so many years too. I mean, look, he was a great mate to all of us, and we all miss him like to buggery. But I'm so thrilled with what they're doing, the whole family, because the whole mental health realm at the moment, I think, has been vastly underrated. I was ignorant to most of the issues that were going on, Jim. It's just so hard to learn about it, and the more we learn, the more we realise, gee, it's a pretty massive issue. So I think anything that's going to raise awareness and not just awareness, but to raise funds and to have the Danny Frawley Mental Health and Wellbeing Centre down at Moorabbin, I think is just a fantastic concept.
Well, especially given the issues of the last year, Purple, it's even heightened the mental health space. So, no, I love what they're doing. And, of course, we love Spud for 1,000 reasons. You blokes played against him. He then went and coached, did a great job of coaching, by the way. The Richmond Footy Club took them to a prelim.
Till he got the boot.
And then he got the boot.
As they did for a long time at Richmond.
Yes.
Just kept sacking coaches.
They did. Yeah. And so he left coaching, and I'll never forget it. I think it was 2002 or 3 or somewhere around there. He left coaching, 4 might have even been. And the day he left the coach's box, Chief, he was in our box the next week commentating. And he had no idea what he walked into. No clue. He had the old fossil who used to pull him up on saying things wrong. Yep. Like he said at one stage a player got caught down in the pocket and was stymied. And Force said, no, Dan, that's stymied is the proper word. This is during commentary. And Spud, his head used to just get all confused because the Force would keep pulling him up.
It's like his message bank. You've rang Danny Frawley.
Yeah, that's it. No, legend. But we did have a lot of fun with him, including when he got up on stage and he had one job, Bill.
Yes.
And that was to introduce the great Tony Lockett. He had one job.
Not going
this night. And this is what happened.
He's humble. He doesn't like talking about himself. He is the Don Bradman of our game. I'm sorry to get emotional, but I've lost it. Thank you.
Chief.
But he loved Plugger.
Finish the first sentence.
He loved Plugger, didn't he?
You know, that's when he got his most emotional, though, when he was talking about his mates.
Yeah.
The blokes that he'd spent so many years with. He would go into battle for you. If you ever need anything, he was the man.
And Plugger's coming down tonight,
He is
which is
there
great.
tonight, which is brilliant.
Yeah.
So,
and Jim, you're emceeing the official function as well.
Yes. So we get to the footy show. That happened during the week.
Oh, yes.
We get to the footy. This is 15 years ago. Whenever we get to the footy show, that and Gary and I are going, right, well, what are we going to do with this? Spud had obviously been on the footy show and a great mate of ours. And I said we shouldn't play it.
Oh,
Gary said we have to play it. So, but neither of us wanted anything to do with it. Yeah. So we then wandered into the old enforcer's office and we said, Force, we've got to play this tonight and you've got to own it.
Oh, no.
So we're going to play, and he just used to do as he's told, Bill, didn't he?
He did.
So he just go, yeah, well, that's fine.
Yeah,
That's
is
fine.
it good for the show?
Is it good?
And we'd say yes. He'd go, I'll do it.
And we said to him, do you want to see the grab so you know what? Yeah. No, it'll be fine. So he hadn't seen it. So we're out there, and you're sitting down the end, and Gary and I, and there's the Force. And anyway, we go, all right, blah, blah, blah. And we go, oh, well, during the week, big event. And Kilda and said, Danny Frawley only had one job, and that was to introduce Plugger, and it sort of didn't go too well, and we played it. You've just heard it. And Force saw it for the first time live on television, and he said, well, that's a character flaw.
He did.
Just like that.
Exactly what he said.
Gary and I and you down the end, Bill, have gone, oh, no, we're in all sorts now. Spud will not take well to this. So we got through the rest of the show.
Yep.
Friday night, we turn up to do the footy with Spud.
And you didn't get any calls or messages from
nothing.
Spud, which is
Normally rang you
unusual.
15 times a day. Didn't hear from it, so I thought he's cut up rough.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I thought, well, I need to get there first on the Friday night. So I walk in. I said, Spud, that thing last night had nothing to do with it. I tried, Spud, not to have it played. I said, Gary wanted it played. Anyway, so Gary comes in 2 minutes later and goes, Spud, I had nothing to do with it last night. Jim wanted it played. Anyway, so we then convinced him it was Sam's fault.
Yeah.
So then we got Sam to ring in, Chief, live on the Friday night to explain to Spud why it was played. Have a listen.
Hello.
Hello. Who's that?
I have become ill in the last 3 days. You can tell by my voice. I've become ill from worry about that fiasco that was organised on Thursday night. I want to, Spud, listen to me, Spud.
Fossil.
I want to disassociate myself. I have 3 children. I have 3 ex-wives and 3 mother-in-laws, and I'll throw them all under the bus if I had anything. I'm sorry, I'm getting emotional myself. If I had anything to do with that, I understand it is quite manly to break down in front of friends and ex-teammates. And I said, Gary and Jim Bob, don't do it to the man. He has been an ornament. Spud, if ever this blood has been thicker than water, buses, children, family, they can all go under. I'm with you.
Sam, these guys for an hour before we're on air said don't talk about it. It was Sam Newman's doing. Gary
That
is
is an
actually.
absolute fabrication.
You are lying. Gary has eyeballed me and actually put his right hand out and said, and JB said, I had nothing to do with it.
Nothing.
Now listen,
I love you and I love Tony Lockett, and I wish I could have been there to weep with you all.
Get rid of him, will you, for God's
I'm not having any of it, Sam. Or JB or Gary.
Good
I'm
news
just.
is he's not
I don't know how many friends are, mate. I'm confused.
I love you. I love you.
He was brilliant, Spud. And I tell you what I most loved about him working in this caper, Chief, is he was as happy laughing at himself as he was at anyone else. And that's rare.
Yeah, and if you're going to throw people under the bus, you've got to be prepared to lie under yourself at
that's
times.
it.
And I think that's what endears you to people. When you can make fun of yourself before you make fun of other people, I think we all laugh along there.
Well, so the Chief and...
Learn that, Bill.
Exactly, Bill. You could well learn that. The Chief and Spud had an amazing on-air relationship, not only with us here at Triple M, but also the great bounce for many, many years. And as I say, Chief, I hate saying it, Bernard. I hate saying anything positive about the Chief. In fact, I've avoided it ferociously for 20 years. But he was a 1,200 goal full forward.
Got to acknowledge that.
And he did have his way with Spud.
He did.
As a fullback on a number of occasions. And we did go back in and just dig out some of the Chief and Spud at their finest.
Yes.
The only concern now is we want to see him get back to his best and get some continuity in his footy, and let's hope that he comes back bigger and better next year because he's exciting to watch.
Well, you came back well, Chief, when after you had that diving bell on your head, half your forehead caved in. You came back
Well, I
straight
did.
away.
It was tough to come back, but I got my confidence up playing on bunnies like you.
We had to get to our great friend. Spud, every now and then, I say this often, but every now and then in a gunfight, you've just got to get the 2 6-shooters out and lay them down. Just go, you know what? I'd rather live.
With it, are you,
Oh, look at him.
Oh, look at him.
I'd rather live to fight another day than be riddled with bullets. So
You didn't say anything. You didn't respond to that.
I did lead with me chin, I must admit. I led with me chin.
You just went silent after that.
Well, I led with me chin. I thought I could see his brain computing. I thought, I'm in trouble here. Because he had that smug look about. You know, he gets that smug look before he says something. I thought, okay, I think I'm in trouble because I had no comeback whatsoever after it.
no, we noticed that.
Mind you, I did keep you goalless twice, but anyway, we'll leave that to another day.
People remember those.
Spud,
All right.
put him down.
Put them down. They're down. They're down. They're down now.
The competitor in Spud just won't let it happen. He just keeps reaching down and grabbing it.
Yeah, I'll bite his kneecaps off like that Monty Python film. No arms, no legs.
Oh, wow. He's good, isn't he?
Yeah, good.
How much fun was he to work with?
Oh, my God.
Hey.
Extraordinary. So we will love doing that tonight. That'll be brilliant for hopefully everyone concerned because we celebrate what a magnificent man he was, Spud.